You're this perp back with another video, and I had to talk about this controversy that's been kind of going on, and before it kind of dies down. So 21, but before I get into this video, definitely go check out my King Disease 3 album review that I just dropped. So definitely go check that out. If you haven't seen or haven't listened, I should say, to King Disease 3, definitely go make sure you go check this out. So back to 21. He's been kind of feeling himself lately. Like, first, ever since like the collaboration with Drake with Her Loss, 21 has definitely been trying to just definitely been feeling himself a little bit too much. He went from saying like, "Oh, I will beat anybody on my freshman list," which, I think is a better conversation than what he was trying to say about Nas being irrelevant. And I want to talk about that. Relevancy versus legacy. What's more important? You know what I'm saying? As somebody that used to be young, I'm still young, but used to be a teenager, I can understand from that perspective where relevancy is more important than legacy. You're not really thinking about long term. You're thinking about the moment. You're thinking about right now. And I'm trying to understand exactly what 21 is talking about when he's talking about Nas being irrelevant, where he dropped 4 projects in his 40s, that have been really well received. I've listened to 1 out of the 4, but not, and just to say Nas is 15 albums deep into this shit. Most rappers nowadays cannot even say that, unless you're like NBA Youngboy, that he just drops like 5-10 projects a year and whatnot. But that aside, how many people can really say that they've dropped 15 consistent albums? You know what I'm saying? And Nas is still doing well numbers wise compared to a lot of new acts. So it's just kind of interesting to me the way that 21 worded. I know now he's kind of trying to backtrack, but you gotta kind of look at the situation like, all right, depending on how you look at it, right? And it depends on your definition of relevancy. You know what I'm saying? Because 21 is the wrong person to be saying that, because he's only dropped like 2 albums that are just studio albums. The rest of just his discography are collab albums. You know what I'm saying? He hasn't really had a standout hit by himself since like 2018, 2017, like around that time. So it's just like, you're a really bad person to be saying this, because if we're talking about relevancy, you're not really relevant unless if you're hopping on somebody else's album. So it's just really hypocritical for him to say some shit like that, where Nas could just hop on a project by himself or have minimal features and still have an impact, or have people talk about him in headlines and even saying like, "Oh, is this his best album?" You don't get that with 21. 21 is usually in the news for dumb shit or just embarrassing stuff, you know what I'm saying? Or just some stuff that's just irrelevant. For real. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, when you're young, that's all that really matters to you, is the now, what's relevant now. Nobody thinks about like, Nas has been doing this in the 90s. How many people from the 90s are very consistent up to this day? It's really only like Nas and Jadakiss, bro. Nas and Jadakiss is really holding that shit down in New York, bro, and just as a whole. And there's other artists that are in that same age range that doesn't get that credit or get that notoriety because they're not relevant. Well, their legacies are forever. And that's why I say, like, what would you rather be, relevant or be remembered 10 years from now? That's the real big difference here. And just my quick little thoughts, and I just think that 21 is bugging. What do y'all think about it in the comments below? Do you agree with 21 Savage when he says Nas is irrelevant? Or do you think 21 is bugging like me? Let me know in the comments below. That's just my thoughts. Peace.